Hello, I love you, won't you tell me your name? Hello, I love you, won't you tell me your name?
Welcome to the Amplified Expert Podcast. Your business, your life, loud and clear. Make more money, get more clients, and spread your message faster so you can live the life that is true to who you really are. And now, your amplified host, David Jalen.
Hello and welcome back to the Amplified Expert Podcast. I am indeed your host, David Jalen. I am your friendly host, your neighborhood elite book yourself solid coach, direct response copywriter and marketing strategist. But hey, that is just the stuff that I do. I am so glad to be back with you. I'm excited because on today's show, I'm going to share with you what I believe to be the absolute number one most important key to building your platform and dramatically increasing your sales. But most importantly, the number one key to living a life that's true to who you really are. So yeah, I know that's a lot, right? That is a lot, but I'm telling you, I had a real epiphany lately. And I'm glad to share it with you, and I want you to stick around and hear this. I think you will be happy that you did. A lot's been going on lately, lots, and I won't bore you with all the details, but one of the most exciting things that has happened to me recently has been that I went to my friend Michael Port's live event called Heroic Public Speaking. And he did that with a friend of his named Amy Mead, and they did an absolutely astonishing job. And I don't say that lightly. I've been to lots and lots of live events over the years, and sometimes I'm not that impressed. Sometimes I am, but Michael really hit it out of the park. And many of you know Michael as the best-selling author, Book Yourself Solid, done astonishing work in the past. That's why I've loved my relationship with him and gotten so much from it. But this is different. This is different this time. He was in a whole different element that I've never seen. And I won't give you all the details. The bottom line is, again, the name of the program is Heroic Public Speaking. It is an online course as well as a live event. Right now, I believe they're closed down, so I do not believe that you can even get in now. But hopefully they'll do it again. And I would certainly go to heroicpublicspeaking.com, and I'll put that in the show notes to go see. I'm not even sure if they're accepting the waiting list or not. But anyway, here's the bottom line. Okay, most of you listening to this program, you are coaches, you're consultants, you're service professionals, you're experts, you're authors, and you're speakers. Okay, and I think most of you already know how important it is to be able to present well, to be able to speak well, the type of credibility and authority that gives you to be on stage and deliver your message in a powerful and compelling way. I think most of you are on board with that. Here's the thing. I'm going to tell you about a little private conversation I had with Michael Port, and we were talking about this, and this was before he just before he released his program, and I said, I think I'm a good speaker, and lots of people have told me I'm a good speaker, but honestly, I shoot from the hip. It's kind of my personality, kind of my nature, and it's worked fairly well for me over the years. And by shoot from the hip means I really never prepared a heck of a lot for speeches in the past. Of course, I did some preparation. I did outlines and so on, but never heavy preparation. And basically the message I got from Michael, and this is powerful, and this is something that may really resonate with you, and that is that you can be good. You can be real good, kind of shooting from the hip, whether it's, again, a live presentation, whether it's doing a video or, some other type of presentation or interaction. You can be good, but it's next to impossible to be real good or even great. And anyway, I won't give you all the details about this program, but I'm just totally excited by it because I have interacted with, been on the mailing list of many, studied the works of a few others, other speaking teachers out there. There's a lot of them out there, and I won't name names. You probably know some of them. And I'm not dogging their work. Okay, I want to be clear. I'm not giving them a hard time because there's good stuff out there. But what Michael Porter has put together with Heroic Public Speaking is something totally just above and beyond. And I guess the best way to sum it up is in their tagline for this program, and that is to give a performance, not a speech. Give a performance, not a speech. Michael, and many of you may not know this, Michael has an acting background, and so does Amy for that matter. So they really brought to this program, just like I said, a whole nother level of what performance is. And it is magical how they are able to help you extract the very best of who you are in your message and really convey that, really perform that in a way that is compelling, that is entertaining, that is impactful. Okay, so what does all this have to do with the number one important key to building your platform, increasing your sales, and living a life that's true to who you really are? Well, I'm getting there because something happened to me when I went to this event, okay, and I really dug into my own work. For God's sakes, the name of this podcast is the Amplified Expert Podcast. Okay, so if you know me at all or you're familiar with my work at all, you already know that I'm a big believer in self-expression, right? Really getting it out there, who you really are. Okay, so that's not new. But when I did this work with Michael and Amy and 200 some odd other amazing people, I got into some nooks and crannies within my own life that I didn't even know I was going into or that I would get into. And it really caused me to examine my work at a much, much, much deeper level. And that work includes this podcast. See, because I am a big believer that marketing and sales tactics are overrated. And I know that's so freaking blasphemous. I get it. Especially considering, again, I'm a copywriter. I help people sell more stuff. I'm a marketing strategist. I help people launch products and programs. I didn't say they weren't important. I said they're overrated. And let me explain a little bit more about what I mean. See, let me back up. I get asked a lot when people talk to me, I get asked questions like, well, how can I write better sales copy? How do I, what do I need to know about headlines? How do I put together a proper product launch online? And all good questions, valid questions, okay? But here's the thing. If you don't come to resolving those questions from the standpoint of already knowing what you're here for, what you stand for, knowing what you need to do to amplify who you are in the world, then you are already coming at this without enough ammunition to really get this done, okay? So that is the number one thing that I think the most important key to building your platform, increasing your sales, touching more people, transforming more lives, is for you to truly become an amplified expert, a fully expressed expert in your business and in your life. And to me, those lines are blurred big time. All right, so that is the real key. But I'm going to share with you today, what that is. Because you know what? I think I've done a pretty crappy job, honestly, of explaining what an amplified expert is. And what I think it is. What it means to me and what I hope I'm able to convey to you. I think I've done a pretty poor job. So I'm going to fix that right now. Okay, so what is an amplified expert? Who is an amplified expert? Well, first of all, I am primarily speaking to personality-driven businesses, okay? Meaning that you are the face of your company. And again, that's why it's generally service professionals, coaches, consultants, authors, speakers. Does it mean this stuff doesn't work for the local pizza shop? No, it does. It does absolutely work. But that's not who that's not my target market, right? That's not who I'm trying to reach. That's not who I'm specifically speaking to. So you're a personality-driven business. You're someone who refuses to blend in the marketplace. Okay, you get that. You know that you must stand out. Vanilla doesn't work, right? Okay, you know that. Okay, you're not trying to be everything to everyone because as you know, if you do that, you're probably going to be not much to nobody. I don't know if that was proper English, but anyway, you get the point. All right. You have something you must say. You must say, you must teach, you must convey. I like to call it your one burning thing. Okay, it's that thing that's just inside of you, driving you crazy because you have to share it. And usually you and I have to share it because it's affected our own life. It's impacted our own life. Maybe it was our own challenges we had to overcome. And we're so driven by the need to help others with this. Okay? You're willing to stand for something. You're willing to stand for something. Okay, and I don't care if that means you're willing to stand for better health against all the bullcrap that's out there, the garbage food and the addiction to food and sugar we have. Maybe that's what you stand for. Maybe you're standing for helping young people understand their value in the world and gain the type of confidence they need to overcome bullying and other obstacles they're going to face. I don't know what it is for you, but you know what it is for you. You stand for something, but here's the other side of the coin. And this is what catches most people. Because you know what? The reality is most people stand for something, right? If I dig into most people, we have a conversation together, we can find what you're passionate about. We can find what you stand for. But here's where most people drop the ball. And that is that they're not willing to stand against the inevitable, the opposite side of the coin. They're not willing to stand against something. Everything has two sides, right? It's the yin and the yang. Okay, when you stand for something, you stand against something else. And I know sometimes that's not popular because we all just want to kind of get along, right? And there's nothing wrong with getting along. But if you really want to stand out, if you really want to be an amplified expert, if you really want to radically change the trajectory of your business, you must be willing to stand against something else, which means taking the slings and arrows that are going to come your way, because they will. I want you to look around, okay, and people, you can look at the super famous people, the Martin Luther Kings of the world, the Kennedys of the world. You can certainly pick them, but I'd rather you actually look at just the big players in your industry, okay? And I want you to really look at their lives, look at their body of work, and dig into, some of their day-to-day interactions. You're going to find that the people at the top of their industries, the people the best of the best, have to endure a lot of naysayers, a lot of critics, sometimes even downright hateful and mean people, okay? And you have to decide for yourself what you stand for. Is it strong enough? Is it compelling enough? Is it important enough to you that you're willing to stand against what you'll inevitably face? Think about it. All right, an amplified expert is also someone who understands how to build a platform and scale their business. You understand that you have to do this in a thoughtful way, in a way that will help you leverage who you are, because since you are a personality-driven business, since you are, I won't say that you can't get to a point where you build something that you can actually remove yourself from, because there are some examples of that, but it's hard, right? So you're a big driver of your business. So building that platform and being able to scale your business are important. All right. An amplified expert also acknowledges that it's impossible to achieve success alone, and that relationships are key. And again, I know a lot of people are going to shake their head. Yeah, I get that. It makes sense. But sometimes, it means a couple of different things. It means actually extending yourself, actually being that person who connects and interacts. But it also means reaching out to some people that you may be uncomfortable about reaching out to. There may be a few pay grades above you right now. And that's a big part of it, is knowing how to reach out, knowing how to contribute, knowing how to be compelling, and to make those connections and those relationships that turn you into an amplified expert. Okay, an amplified expert, lastly, last point here, embraces the fact that true success and fulfillment come through full self-expression. Now, I actually try pretty hard not to use that term self-expression, just because it's so overused, but it fits, okay? It fits. It's important. And that, I believe that you and I can't feel fully satisfied unless we are fully self-expressed, really sharing who we are. All right. So I think I have now made it much clearer about what an amplified expert is to me. And lots of you, hopefully that resonates with you, and you'll want to continue on this journey with me, because we're going to continue to get into specific marketing and sales strategies and tactics. We're going to do that, but we're always going to do it from the standpoint of knowing who we are, knowing that we have to fully express ourselves in our marketing, in our relationships, in order to achieve the success we're after. All right, now I want to share with you the why. Why do you want to be an amplified expert? Okay, we know what the what is, so why do you want to be one? Well, here's the thing, and probably the number one reason is you can achieve business success on your terms. Achieve the success you need to spread your message, to reach more people, to impact, transform lives, yet still give yourself the lifestyle you're after. And another reason, and totally related, is that you're going to be able to impact more people, that you're here, that you're meant to serve. Here's the thing, it's funny because, oftentimes I work with people who have challenges selling, okay? And I did too. I think most of us deal with that on some level, or we have dealt with it at least at some point. And for me, it's very simple. Can you change people's lives? Do you have the ability to impact people and change their lives for the better? If you say yes to that, which most people do, I'll say, then wouldn't it make sense for you to have the infrastructure, the platform, the tools you need to reach more people, to impact more people? And they usually say, yeah, sure. Well, then you need more revenue. You need more sales. You need to sell. Okay, so maybe if you make that shift in perspective, you'll understand that selling is a responsibility. It's a joy. It's part of who you are and connecting with other people you're meant to serve. And if they're right for you and you're right for them, helping extend that relationship. Okay, so you can impact more people by being an amplified expert. All right, next point. You push yourself to levels of performance and contribution you may have never thought possible. This is one thing I love about working with people who have achieved a higher level of success than I have. What I see as one of the most common threads amongst those people that I have had the opportunity to interact and work with is that they constantly push themselves to higher and higher levels. They push themselves to achieving more, to creating even greater things, even when they're uncomfortable. Because often they're uncomfortable, but they do it because they know they have to. They know if they're going to achieve their big dreams, reach the levels they want, they have to push themselves. Most of us don't like that. Most of us like to feel comfortable and secure and safe, and we like to feel like we're in a place where nobody can ridicule us, nobody can criticize us. But look, you and I both know that you cannot achieve what you're here to achieve. You can't create the great things you are meant to create by playing that small. You know that. You know that. So by embracing the concept of becoming an amplified expert, you will push yourself to new levels. And you know what the funny thing happens, because I've noticed this in my own life? When I push myself through the fear, through the discomfort, I always feel better about who I am. I always feel more confident. I always feel like I can do so much more. I feel more satisfied and fulfilled. And you know what? And I bet you're the same way. I bet you're the same way. The next thing you'll do as an amplified expert is you'll create high-end transformational relationships. What do I mean by high-end? Does that mean that every relationship has to be somebody who's made a lot of money? No, not necessarily. Although I have noticed a big correlation that often happens, that's often noticeable between people who are fully self-expressed in the world, confident in who they are, reaching out, impacting lives, and their bank statements. So no, I'm not saying they have to make a lot of money, but often there is a commonality there. But what I am saying, though, is that they stand out in the world. Okay, you and I know when we run into these people. Okay, they are performers. Okay, they are peak performers. They understand relationship. You almost have a sense of who they are when they walk into the room. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm willing to bet you're with me on this. I want more of those people in my life. More of those types of people. And by becoming an amplified expert, laying it all out on the table in your life and in your business, you will create more of these high-end relationships. Another cool thing that happens when you become an amplified expert is that you become irresistibly attractive. You become attractive. Now, to the people you're meant to serve, remember what I said earlier about, who do you stand against? Those people you're not attracted to. They think we won't get into that, but the people you're meant to serve, the people you're trying to connect with, the people whose lives you want to transform, find you attractive in so many ways. When you are fully expressed, when you are an amplified expert in your business, in your life, they can't resist you. And that's a beautiful thing. Now, here's another thing that happens when you become an amplified expert and why you should consider becoming one. Is marketing and sales truly becomes easier. That's the cool thing about it, and I alluded to this earlier. In my private work with people, it's what I tell them. I said, look, before we get worried about all the little intricacies of, this marketing campaign and how can I write this copy and what tweaks should I make to my webpage and my landing page, before you get into all that stuff, if you really embrace this concept of becoming an amplified expert and you truly share who you are with the world and you allow the chips to fall where they're going to fall, so you connect with the people you're supposed to, you stop trying to please everybody, then your marketing and sales just fall in line. Yeah, sure, there's some things to do and there's still some things to learn, but it becomes so much easier. So much easier. And the number one reason why you should become an amplified expert is because you will finally be living a life that's true to who you really are. I think that's what you and I want. I really do. I really do. And if you disagree, let me know. You know how to reach me. Get me on social media, notes on this episode, on the blog. But really, I think that's what we want. I think in the end, you and I want to live a life that's true to who we really are. We want to be expressed in the world. We want to lay it all out there. We want to feel used up. Not in a bad way, not in a negative way. But, when you and I, when our days come to an end, I think we want to be used up. We want to feel like we did the things we wanted to do. We touched the people we wanted to touch. We expressed everything inside of ourselves that should be shared. We shared it. Well, guess what? The next episode of this show, I'm going to show you how to become an amplified expert. All right? Yeah, I didn't want to drag it all through on this show. We're getting a little long, but I wanted to share with you this transformation I had, okay? And I want to be clear about what an amplified expert is and why you should strongly consider becoming one. And on the next show, you and we're going to go through how to get it done. How do you become an amplified expert, which I think will explode your business. Now look, one way to become an amplified expert is to leverage yourself, to scale your business some, to create marketing campaigns that help automate some of this stuff, that help naturally lead some of your prospects through your sales cycle, okay? Now, I just recently created some what I think are pretty cool infographics, okay, that share with you 5 different campaigns, and I want to give them to you for free. Okay, just simply go to davidjelen.com, davidjelen.com/5 campaigns, and that's the number 5 /5 campaigns with an S, CAMPAIGNS, and you'll be able to get your hands on those 5 campaigns. I've got a couple in there on how to promote a book. And the campaign turns into a high-end offer. Okay, so it's not just a book. I've got one on there on how to do a webinar and also sell a product. I've got one on there that will share with you how to extend a survey that helps you to understand your prospects and clients better, but also can help you sell a product. I also have another campaign that will teach you, it'll show you what to do to create some high-end sales. Okay, So if that sounds interesting to you, go check that out. I appreciate you listening. It's good to be back with you. I'm excited to share with you this shift, this change in my own business and in this show. And I want to hear your feedback. So give it to me. Good or bad, I'm ready. Remember I told you about those slings and arrows too? Sure, I love good stuff. I love good feedback, but, I'm ready for all of it, okay? Because, that's what it's all about. So again, thank you for joining me on the Amplified Expert podcast today. This is David Jalen. I hope you and I get a chance to connect sometime soon. In the meantime, live amplified.
Thanks for listening to the Amplified Expert Podcast. Find the archives for this show at davidjalen.com/podcast or on iTunes. Contact David at davidjalen.com and remember to live amplified. Amplified.